Hey there, Drawyah here, and welcome back to FSX, and welcome back to possibly the last time this platform will ever feature on this channel. I mean, most aircraft I fly now are already available on MSFS and X-Plane, and also JustFlight will set to release 757 for MSFS in the next couple of weeks, and I thought, okay, let's have a throwback. I'm flying 757 in real life. I don't own a flight factory on X-Plane, and I don't think I'll buy the, yeah, I'm going for throwback, so today we're flying the JustFlight 757 FREEMIUM with the Tenku Development Studio TDS 757 XL model, which is a bit naughty. I'll talk about that during the flight today. But yes, this is my simulator. This is what I was flying 10 years ago now. This is what flight simming is to me. So I'm quite excited for it because I've not flown this airplane now in maybe, well, it's 2022 now. Probably last flew in maybe 2013, 2014. So it's been at least 6, 7, 8 years since last actually picked up this aeroplane to go for a flight. Fingers crossed, touch wood, fingers crossed that I still know how to fly it. Shouldn't be too difficult. It's certainly not quite up to the standards, I guess. But I thought, if this is my last ever FSX video, I'm going to do it as a throwback. I'm going to show you what my flight simming was like back in the day. And oh boy, I'm excited to show it off today. So, flying from Atlanta to JFK, this is a premiere, meaning this is a real world flight. Like I said, I'm real life boarding 757 right now and setting up to fly to JFK after my day trip to Lexington has come to an end. Just flown 717 in, of course, Delta Airlines, which was probably very exciting. Again, haven't flown the airplane yet in real life, but I'm excited. Like I said, I've always wanted to fly 757. Delta Airlines, a very, very good carrier. I've had virtually no complaints or any ill comments about this airline. This should be a trip to remember. So yeah, jump into the cockpit, set everything up, and prepare ourselves for departure. Oh boy, this is going to be a good old one. Yeah, so welcome to the 757 FREEMIUM. Cockpit is actually for freeware, not that bad. So 757 FREEMIUM is an aircraft that JustFlight released essentially as a mid-fidelity aircraft, so all the basics work. There are some things missing, but for the most part you can fly from A to B and it will follow flight plans without any problems with a semi-functional FMS. So configure the aircraft, set it all up and prepare it for departure. Set it up from turnaround stage, so if you look at the overhead panel, the aircraft is active and everything's kind of switched on to the basics. I'm not quite sure what the starter motor is in the background, so that's something I don't quite know what it is, but apart from that everything else should be pretty stable. APU is off, ground power is active and available, which to be fair is linked to the APU anyway, just getting a bit off. It's not a perfect aeroplane, doesn't live up to today's standards, but again, this is what flight sim was like back when I was maybe 12 years old. It's honestly good to be back, I'm so excited. Right, so let's have our flight match today. In fact, we'll do PACX at the same time. I've got no idea what it is in the sim time right now, but if I do Shift 9, menu, start flight. Yes, because it's FSX P3D, if I click away from the sim, the sound also cuts off. Oh boy, I'm so glad I've left this sim behind. So Atlanta to JFK, Delta 526, 32,000 cruise, flight time today, 1:45, departure in approximately... Right, so the in-sim time right now, if I can find it. Oh god, I haven't seen the VAS thing active in years. Sim zoom to 133, so departure's in approximately 26 minutes. 757-200, with a passenger count of 208, so mostly for the aircraft. Aircraft has Wi-Fi and seatback entertainment. Delta Airlines have all the perks on aeroplanes. Delta Airlines boarding music I have got. Delta Airlines safety briefing I have got. Yes, snacks. No team meal service, flight too short to have that. Cost not required and numbers will continue. And with that, passengers can now start boarding. FMS, so the aircraft actually has its own kind of route builder. I plug in the departure and arrival, so for example I can plug in, actually I won't do it just in case it goes to the FSX flight plan, which is linked to real world data, but plug in departure, plug in arrival, and the aircraft will physically make a route for you based on what it's going to do. So load up Atlanta JFK for the 19th of September, we will load that into standby, go through the page, make sure the waypoints match up, which they do, and then activate that. So there's our legs, there's our waypoints, all looking good. In terms of departure and arrivals, we have got V speeds. We do not have runways for departure or anything like that, so we're doing this out on some of the niceties. But for the most part, we should be able to throw in the flight without too many problems over in the Echo Sends today. Right, so yeah, that's the flight plan. That's looking good. And yeah, if I need to mess some flight plan waypoints around, I can also do that later. Go away. Emails left, right, and centre at the moment. Okay, data breaks are fixed. Like I say, I've not done this properly in years now, so it'd be good to go back. No IVAO, no multiplayer today, just going to be good old, plain old, defaults FSX offline. Right, so my flight plan's plugged in, there's no departure arrival I can set up, so that's pretty much all there. V2148, I'll set up 148 on the IS Mac indicator, although I don't think I can, because this is linked to the Mac. So you see on the little pop-up, Mac card selector changes in Mac decimals 0, 1 every time. You can't actually change the speed on an exact basis. This thing, to this day, throws me off. Flight directors on and on. Switch over from nav to GPS mode, I believe that's that. Yes, it is. Means you can now follow the flight plan. The RDMEs we can set up later on as well. Yeah, that is pretty much everything ready to go. I've set up all the payloads and weights and fuels already in the sim for the sake of making my life a bit easier. So seat signs come on, same for PACX, seat signs can come on. That comes on. That's fine. Set the cruising altitude of 33,000 feet. Check the flight plan again. So yeah, 33,000 feet is cruise. There it is, that's fine. Vertical speed initially will be 3,000 feet per minute. So this aircraft doesn't have VNAV, that is in-up. AirNav does work. The aircraft will follow your flight plan, it will follow the routing, which is great. So below 10,000, 3,000 feet climb. Below 20,000, set that to 2,000. Below 30,000 down to 1,000, something like that. So again, we'll set the vertical speed as per our requirements. Top of descent was always a tricky one to manage to calculate, but thankfully Volanta has that already calculated for us. So just after some brief flight plan. So, at this point, we are fully configured for departure. We can start the APU. APU comes on. External, we'll be able to hear that starting up. Yeah, back in my day, airports are default. Runways are flat. There was no terrain. This is FSX as I remember it. Like this is this is the platform I grew up on. All you kids these days, you're X-Planes and Microsoft Flight Sims. You're the lucky ones. God, I remember back. Well, my first sim was FS 2004. That was bare bones. Although not too dissimilar from this, I must admit. And to be fair, JustFlight's freemium cockpit does kind of very lightly hold up as well. It's not great, but back in the day, this was fantastic. Like I say, a semi-functional FMS you can actually click on. That was revolutionary. Because I'm using a tanker development studio external model, we also have the external panel and aircraft stairs and stuff we can also play around with as well. Right, so I will activate the APU generator. So power, we're just going to sit there, which is fine. Battery, you can't close, that turns off the entire battery, which I don't really want to do. Fuel pumps can also come on. There's no fuel and sensor element things, leave those off. Actually, cross these are fine, sensor pumps stay off. They stay off for now. Engine starts set to both. Pitot heats, captains, yeah, pitot heats are off, and the entry doors are open, which are fine. Engine anti-icing will activate as soon as the engines are started. Everything else looks pretty good. Circuit breakers, lighting activates when you need them. Activate the where the lighting in this thing. Logo light, don't require that. Do we have any navigation lights? Wing lights, stroke lights, beacon lights, nav lights. Right, so at this point, we're just waiting now for the passengers to board, really. As soon as they're on the airplane, we're good to go. Open the cabin, as that's all going. So far, so good. So once we're able to go through the cabin, we'll have a look at who's on board our flight today, which passengers are flying with us today. Oh boy. Yeah, listen, so I had the option of, well, I'm fairly sure I did own a Flight Factor 757, but I bought that in the FS Pilot shop, which shut down, so that I can't access anymore. Although I bought that for explaining 10, not 11, so I don't even know it's compatible with 11. So that's not 12. Yeah, so I've got that. I could have gone for the, it's not quad swing, so the 757 back in the day for FSX and P3D. I can't remember who developed it. There was a pretty good one as well, which I probably could have purchased, but for one single case use I was going to do that. And so, like I say, for me, just a throwback video, last time on FSX, just a nice way to round the sim off to an end. Because last time I did the sim was doing a 228 flight with Arini. To be fair, not the best received video in the world, not even the best flight ever, so I thought, okay, we'll go back to basics and we'll just fly the flights kind of as it was back in the day. So I have got some sceneries going, so I have got the Rex Worldwide Airports HD, providing the terminal colours and stuff. Have got ORBX FTX Global for the ground textures. Of course, using the TDS and 757 models. Got a top-down camera, and of course, can't forget it, my all-time favourite camera has to be the flyby, so it's going to be that one, which we'll take a look at. Let's grab one. Again, even just the aircraft cars like that, like for you, this may be the ugliest sim you're ever looking at right now, but for me, this is what I grew up on. This is my flight simulator. This is what I remember back in the day. But yeah, flyby cam, something that I have always missed on any platform. Yeah, so like I say, I went for passenger board. Unfortunately, I don't have the HUD available. That is something I don't think I can activate. So I can't open up the FSX. I can't open up this menu, because if I do, it will crash the sim. I don't know what causes that bug, but it's been a bug since, well, basically since I last played FSX. And actually was one of the big reasons why I moved away from the platform, because one, the frame rate, I just couldn't convince myself that 12 FPS was good anymore. And yeah, the sim had crashing problems. I did it pretty well with it, so with the PMDG aircraft back in the day, 737. I have all the PMDG 777, never streamed it. But I've already used it, I've got the disc for it on the shelf. But yeah, this is the platform I remember. Right, so I presume we're on the APU. I can get rid of the, let's have a look. Close you, ground power unit goes away. Ground services, oh yeah, I can also set up the loaders as well. So I go to the lock spot view, move to the side, you can actually see the conveyor belts will start to move as well. In fact, it looks like luggage is also moving as well. How cute is it? Well, a single suitcase. How cute. And I get to the top, and it'll just stop. And if I then deselect them, it just rewinds. Yeah, this was flights back in the day. Right, go to the cargo tags, get rid of the loaders, close the cargo doors. Position, set the chocks as well. Probably need those for the ground. Unless you know what this is though. Shift D. Ah, okay. I'm not going to press that as it's an engine starter. Tow truck. When you tow truck, I don't need that because we've got one on the ground at the moment. If I remember for Shift E1 or Shift E2, it's going to point in those left. I think it was Shift E1. I'm going to have to guess it. Apart from that, yeah, passenger boarding. So leave the stairs in place for now. And lighting is just a lighting panel, that lights on, everything else stays off for now. We will close that. In fact, let's also do our own passenger greeting, shall we? Good afternoon, gentlemen. On board the Delta Airlines Flight 526 from Atlanta to JFK. Flight to stay, an hour and 45 minutes, just in flight stage preparing the aircraft for departure, and should be airborne in the next 15 minutes or so. We thank you for choosing Delta as your carrier choice today. We hope you enjoy flights on board today. We hope you sit back, relax. Any questions, feel free to be on crew on board today. Quick update on the weather for you. In New York right now reporting a few clouds in the area with a temperature of around 21 degrees centigrade. But a good update on the weather once we get closer to the destination. Once again, thanks for choosing Delta to carry up, and we hope you enjoy your flights on board today. Alright, so I'll go to the cabin as a general message. And yeah, it doesn't do it for external views because this is an external view, it's an internal view. Right, so I'm just waiting for a report from the cabin crew so that they're boarded, and then at that point we can prepare ourselves for push and start. No, that's hard. I do also have GSX for this platform, but there you go, passive boarding sound stops, means passengers are now all boarded. I do also have GSX for FSX, but if you have GSX installed in Microsoft Flight Sim, it nukes the install for this platform, and it gave me really bad frame rate problems. So GSX, unfortunately, we're not going to use today. Unfortunately, those jet bridges over there as well don't actually appear to work. Shift J to control them. For some reason, non-functional, which is why using the stairs later board. Passengers have boarded now, so we can secure the aircraft. Thank you, ground crews. Get rid of the stairs. Close the doors. Close the doors. Thank you very much. Quick check what else we need. So that's all fine. Got a clean chocks off if we need it. Don't really need it. Position won't click you. Chocks can now be removed. Door 4. I did not close the rear cargo door. Oh, sorry. There you go. That's more like it. So that's all now off and locked. So that's all now off and locked. That's all off and locked, and lighting is as required. Right, let's push back, shall we?
526, with service to New York.
So, plug and brake set, propeats off, TCAS off, engines shut down. That's easy. And those links to hydraulics and engines. On. So, beacon lights now come on, those are the red lights. Then let's ground crew that over the engine startup. Those are your nose gear lights, oscillating, well, links to everything.
Cabin crew secure doors for departure.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult. Right, so, like I said, we're not using any ATC today, all going to be done by hand, which means Shift P1, we can call the tug. Wait for a bit of pressure to put onto the nose, there we go. Parking brakes released, and let's start the engines. Engine 2 to start. Whoops. Okay, Shift P2, turn it the other way. Wait, that's about 5.5, and engine 2 fuel flow starts.
Please direct your attention to the screens for an important safety demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
Hello, welcome aboard, and thanks for flying with Delta. Every time we take off, we try to
Start
make
up.
the world a little smaller. Our first
Engine
priority on every flight is the
1.
safety of our customers and crew. So please, give us
Auto.
your attention as we show you
Wait,
one of the
5.5.
safest worlds there is, the world of the safety card.
And engine 1
Be sure that
fuel
all
flow
carry-on
starts.
items are securely stowed in an overhead bin, and place smaller items, including handbags, under the seat in front of you. If you lose your electronic device in your seat, please do not adjust your seat.
TCAS, as far as I'm aware, non-functional. It'll say TCAS off the entire flight because that switch can't move.
Please ensure
That's
all
even
aisles,
turned on. There you go.
exits, and bulkhead areas
Set that
are
for 2000.
clear. As we leave the gate, make sure
Yeah,
you
can't move that.
to fasten,
Can't press ident. And if I move over to the 2D panel, which I can access it from here, I think.
To release the belt, just lift
The
the top
throttle's
of the
not
buckle.
that far down enough.
Please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened and
Shift
time
P,
the
sorry,
seatbelt sign
parking
is
brake
on.
set.
Even if the sign is off, please keep your seatbelt fastened in case we experience
GPS,
unexpected
checklist,
rough air.
maps,
For everyone's
ADI.
safety, federal regulations
That one?
require
Yeah,
all
non-functional.
passengers
Nothing can
to
move, I'm
comply
afraid.
with
An ident from here,
information
although it seems to
signs
change the numbers
located
around.
throughout the cabin.
But
In
yeah,
addition,
TCAS, unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, is non-functional.
Smoking, including the use of e-cigarettes, is not allowed
Right,
on any Delta
the
flight.
pushback tug should hopefully be moving out of the aeroplane's position. Says that's now that's oh, we're like a stand. Very, very quick. Right, so then to activate the taxi lights, we'll leave those ones. Don't need to activate strobe lights or wing lights. Those are overhead beneath those. Engine hydraulics are on and on. That's set to auto. No EK messages, pump brake and TCAS, and then gear pressure is pushing into the gear. That's fine.
Please take a moment to find the exits closest to you.
Do
And
a quick flight controls check.
It's unlikely, but if cabin pressure changes,
Elevators,
the panels above
good.
your seat will open, revealing
Ailerons,
oxygen masks. If
good.
this happens, reach up and pull the mask toward you. The
Roger
nose tube
is
fully
good.
extended. Place the mask over your nose
And
and mouth.
spoilers.
Put the elastic strap over your head and adjust the mask
That one
if
isn't it? Yeah,
necessary.
that's the spoilers.
Breathe normally and note that
Very
oxygen
good.
is
Right,
flowing,
flaps
so
down
don't worry if
to
the bag doesn't inflate.
5,
Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
and it's
The water
E1039,
evacuation is also unlikely,
rotate
but just in
142,
case, life
lead
vests are
to
located under
148, that's
seats
fine.
in the main cabin. If you're seated in the first class or
Right,
business class
parking
cabin,
brakes
life vests are either in a
released.
compartment beneath or adjacent
We've got
to your
Volanta,
seat.
and grab
To
the
use,
ground
remove
maps
the
for
vest
everything I
from
need
its
here.
container by pulling on the tab and then opening the pouch.
A little bit of
Slip
taxi,
the
but
vest
nothing too
over your
excessive.
head.
We're in part
Wrap the
runway
strap around your waist and attach it to the
to
buckle in front
yeah,
and
27
adjust
right
securely
today.
around your waist. As you leave the plane, inflate the
increase
vest by
throttle,
pulling down on the
and
red
the set
tab
going.
at the bottom of the vest, or manually inflate it by pulling it
So
to
this
the
is
level.
oh
Water
gosh, it's been
activated
so
light
long,
is
so
attached
long.
to each vest. If necessary, we'll
Oh
distribute
god, and the
additional
ground friction
light
bug.
vests
You need to put
to
like
children who
50%
weigh
throttle in to get
35
any
pounds or
basic movement out of
less.
this airplane. Yeah, ground friction bug. That was a thing itself. Oh yeah, I also got some fancy 3D landing lights mod as well. So when the sun, it won't be dark down in New York, but the sun will start to lower a little bit, so you get a chance to enjoy some 3D landing lights as well on the arrival.
Now would be a good time for everyone to
We'll push
review
to the left, actually gets us onto the
information
taxiway
card,
line,
which is
which
in your
we're
seat pocket.
way off.
On behalf of everyone at Delta, thank you for paying attention. Now, as we get ready for takeoff, please sit back, settle in, and enjoy your flight.
That'll do. Gonna make a left on to Mike's cut across Lima, left onto Mike, and then holding at Mike 22. I'm going to hold the space button to look around. Rudder is really off, so it's ground steering, but we'll manage. There's control tower. We're using freeware mods for both JFK and Atlanta as well. Freeware mods off of good old flightsim.com. Again, back in the day, that was your website for your free mod downloads. That's AvSim and Simviation. Websites I never thought I'd ever use again.
Secure. Ready for departure.
Right, let us taxi. It's on the runway. Sorry, that's a motor behind. Whoops, cool. Visual glitches, those are a thing as well. That's a motor behind it. Cabin secure, thank you, cabin crew. Yeah, keep it zoomed a little bit, just to get more of a view of the gauges. Come on, airplane, give us a bit more speed. Yeah, we are going to have to push for the 50% throttle. Yeah, and the camera would always jerk around as well. No matter how you had it set, you'd always randomly have to reset it every time you moved around, change view. There's your flat runway again. No contoured runways in the sim. There were, I think, a total of 3 add-ons that had contoured runway. Courchevel, Lucla, and then I can't remember if it's like Gran Canaria or Lanzarote or Tenerife. There was one airport that had it. I think it was an Airsoft release. And I remember the hype around it. They came out like, oh my gosh, this airport has a non-flat runway. That's so realistic. It was one add-on, and the hype for it was real. I remember when that thing. I can't remember which airport it was exactly, but I'm sure it was an Airsoft release. Although, I mean, that default AI aircraft could not use it because, of course, default aircraft in Sim don't support non-flat runways, and therefore it physically was just unable to actually use it. Yeah, this is Atlanta maybe 10 years ago. The airport's had a big expansion since then. A bit too much braking, getting more power in. Come on, aeroplane. Come on. I know the ground's it's like running on wet concrete. We're almost there. Just realised I haven't turned off the APU yet. APU comes off. AP generator off, APU off. Right, I'll short the runway. Now, there's no traffic coming because, again, everything's disabled, but still going to do the visual check just in case. That all looks good. Brake set to reject takeoff, can't actually move that. Cabin crew, please take your seats for departure. Yeah, the sound randomly cuts off every few seconds. I do apologise. That's just what we had to live with back in the day. Yeah, I've not done this now in... what was it? 10 years I said? Something like that. 9 lights on, strobe lights set. Again, can't touch the TCAS, that stays off the flight. Enter the runway, and let's get out of it. Hoping our throttle, we managed to get moving. Oh boy, the joys of this platform. Right, so comfortable. Throttle's already at 40. We'll start to about 50 for this. Throttle 50. Engines 1-2 stable. Toga. $60 knots. 80. V1. Rotates. Positive rate of climb, gear up. Just trim as required. And head over to the best view. Whoops, not top down. Flyby. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, get rid of these lights. Start a right hand turn. Activate the LNAV. And what we'll do is set it direct to Agabi. So if I go to direct to Agabi, insert that. If I activate the autopilot, the aircraft should now continue the right hand turn through to the next waypoints. Adjust the speed to 250 knots, or as close as I can, 249. That gets set, that gets set. Vertical speed set, aircraft now climb at 3,000 feet per minute to an altitude of 33,000 on the LNAV, which is activated by GPS. We'll take a second for the aircraft to kind of, you know, throttles are, they will eventually spool down, but throttles take a second to spool down. Maybe speed up 20 if I need to. LNAV will pick up as well, continue the right hand turn, and get us back onto the correct course. It's it is what it is. Man, the other Excel pads on either, that I can't even click on. But hey, what a sim, what a sim. We can also look at our position from nearest airport tower, which is wherever this airport is. Let's look at it from Atlanta. Capital. Where are you? There you go, this is what Atlanta Tower can now see on our right hand bank. But no. No, never tell me that flyby. Certainly FTX flyby. It's not the best view ever. So even the way the sound travels that as well. Sound might not be this platform's strongest points. There's so much that really he did right. So Atlanta, you've been a great host for this, this finale. Passing 10,000 feet, then lights come off.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now passing through 10,000 feet. You can now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. As a reminder, please
Going to reduce our rate climb now to 2,000 feet per minute. And increase our speed to Mach decimal 5.5. So the aircraft now to continue its rate of climb, or increase its rate of climb slightly. And continue at a fairly more steady rate. And again, I have got Volanta open on the other tab, on the other monitor, just so I can also keep a very, very close eye on the flight's progress as I top a drop. The 717 earlier, that was relatively good. Again, TFDi design is fantastic when it comes to their aircraft's functionality, which is why I'm really excited for the MD-11 when it comes to MSFS, and I really, really, really hope it makes its way onto the 717 makes its way onto MSFS as well. But this is this is a throwback. It really is. Cool. Has it revitalized my love for FSX? It kind of has, but I'm looking at it through very rose-tinted glasses because, again, I abandoned the sim for much of its frame rate issues, its age, and a lot of other technical problems for X-Plane. X-Plane 11 was great when it came out, and I took a bit of a slow transition because, of course, all my payware mods for FSX eventually had to make the jump over. And then Microsoft Licensing came out and just completely blew everything out of the water. But yeah, this is how I remember it. So continue our climb outs. I think I can adjust the air. No, that's completely gone. There's the 2D cockpit that interacts with it. No, that's just fixed. Okay, not the end of the world. The course is linked to the course over here. That's just going to be fixed to speed. Sorry, maximum 5.5. Course is that one. Again, since I've got it set to GPS mode right now, that's going to follow the FMS, and I'm going to sort the legs here all the way through to JFK. I don't quite know what approach it's going to give us. I might end up having to vector an approach into the runway. We'll figure it out when we get there. Last waypoint it's given us is Carmen, so I'll have a look at that on the charts. I don't know if I can. I can say fly directs to and plug the waypoint manually. That I could do as a point of reference for the approach. I think it may just be easier for me to just fly the approach in as per the as per the vectors for the airport. Arrival time is about midnight Zulu, so 1 AM for those in the UK. In America, that's about 8 PM. That's it. Every time I go in, and it's slightly annoying. Shortly pass through 18,000. That'll be transition altitude in the US. So out of a 299-2113 set, that's all it is at the moment. Yeah, pass through 2,000 feet, drop down to about 1,000 feet per minute, and increase speed further. So something a bit closer to our cruising speed today. This is kind of my view when I fly. I'm slightly behind the wing, so if I move the camera back a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of like this. This is kind of what I'm expecting view-wise for the flight today. Yeah, not a bad set of cameras actually. Again, nothing. It's not top-down. Top-down's pretty useful as well if you're looking at your aircraft's position from a top-down ground perspective. But no, flyby will always be the best. Again, even the way sound travels in this sim, actually, it sounds really good. It's probably one of the best sounding sims out there. Right, 20,000 feet. Drop you, in fact, we need to drop it. We'll go 1,500. And the speed increase further. And that can get some more 6.5. Not seatbelt signs now, sorry, that can have gone off a little while ago. Seatbelt signs are over here. And there's something to PACX as well, potentially. No, it doesn't. Okay, seatbelt signs come off.
turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move about the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when you do in case of unexpected turbulence.
Alright, so at this point we're continuing to climb out. Should arrive at cruising altitude in the next 10 minutes or so. Seatbelts are off, cabin is pretty relaxed at the moment. In fact, I can see the speed there is certainly... It's not necessarily dropping, but it's definitely not quite as strong as it could have been, so... We'll reduce our rate of climb just to support the speed a little bit, and hopefully that increase. A little bit of wind action there, so it's not quite as steady as perhaps could be. So yeah, that is being affected by the outside winds. Any gusts or breezes that come through will certainly play its part in affecting that. Yeah, it is slowly now increasing, so that should be okay for the rest of the flight. We're not too heavy. We have got our left and right tanks pretty much full. Centre tank is empty. As for cargo capacity, we're also running pretty much capacity there. So let's say 208 passengers on board today. That's possible 211. Apart from that, yeah, pretty good actually. Okay, outside worlds. It's a good old basic blaze this. Right hand turn. And that should go slightly more northerly course now, heading direct towards JFK. Only one more flyby. One more flyby. Hopefully as well, I have got Precipitous Effects installed, which means you should also enjoy some fancy contrast from there as well. Go on, give us a left-hand side flyby view, not from the right. I know it can do it. The right side's more preferred with the flyby, but yeah, I think it's going to give us that. Right, hopefully, she's getting pretty nice contrast at the higher altitudes today. There's a lot of water. There's a bottle of water. So I can do. Let's get a bit close to JFK. You can program the radio. It's got the VORs, got the it's only VORs. Do we have ILS frequencies in this thing? There's our ATC communications, 212.800, just for the sake of again keep it on Unicom. So 1.2.8.0, no third decibel, third number point. Yes, we do. Okay, so we have got frequencies for the ILS. That's fine. We can play with that later. Right, let me just get the center console moved down a little bit. I need to study this airplane a little bit more because again, since I last used it, I just know which is which. Right, that's giving me an ILS option there, so potentially that's it. Can't really use those, but I can pass around with frequencies. Right, that's navigation radio. That's nav 2. That's a course select, and that's nav 1. Perfect. So I need that and that set. I'll do that later for the approach into JFK, get a runway picked out and go. Right. Oops, oh boy. It's directs to FDi, I think. I think the flight plan's gone a little bit. Yeah, it reset the entire flight plan there. Okay, make sure we're going back towards Philly. It's temperamental. This aircraft has aged. That's what I'm going to say. This aircraft has certainly aged. In fact, let's check the flight plan again. Philly, do I want Philly? Go towards Tangier to India. I think just make my life a bit easier. Direct to next page. Tangier to India. Now push to the right. Again. Yeah, that's more like it. Cool. So, as for our flight plan today, that's what we're doing today. Yeah, of course, a little bit funny, but that's just default FSX stuff. So yeah, departure is pretty standard. Turn to the right. Should have followed flight plan a bit better there, but we're now flying direct to Tango Yankee India, which is just northeast of Rocky Mount. That then takes us towards the coast. So we'll fly towards Virginia Beach, Cheapsake, Cheapspeak, and Norfolk. Fly along the coastline, and then eventually make an approach into JFK, Carmen, just south of the airport. So yeah, we're going to have to vector ourselves into the airport, which isn't too bad. Can bring up the top of descent, estimated over here, with rates of maybe 1,800 feet per minute. So just before, or just, yeah, kind of these, when we kind of entered Delaware, we need to think about top of drop. As for the sim brief plan, not that page, I want that page. This gives us a top of drop at altitude 223. So top of drop is so yeah, kind of by sea isle, between sea isle and bottom, which I think that's kind of where that's linked to anyway. Yeah, there's sea isle, there's bottom. Yeah, so that I'm quite happy is our top of drop. Focus about 1,000 feet per minute. Make adjustments throughout if required, and then that's the point to have ourselves in a position ready to bring ourselves onto the ground. My flight logs as well. Have they found the missing? Yeah, they haven't. So I might drop a message to the guys later on so they can find it, fix it. Yeah, this is the sim that I remember it. This is my flight sim back in the day. But like I say, I'm being a bit naughty because I am using Takeoff Studio just on the model, and well, so I'll go through a bit of history for this whole platform. JustFlight's FREEMIUM 757 released in 2000 and I want to say 2011, but I can't remember the exact date. I'll be completely honest. I don't remember when this aircraft released. It was good over a decade ago now. This aircraft came with 3 liveries as standards: British Airways, American Airlines, and the Royal New Zealand Air Force. Then the what should I say? Then if you wanted more liveries, that was the freemium part of the aircraft, where the base package was free, but you could pay extra for more liveries for the airplane. So you could buy, say, you could buy Delta Airlines, you could buy United Airlines, you could buy basically all the 757 carriers out of 3 different packages, like 2 commercial packages, 1 military package. 2008, come 2018, TDS, Takeoff Development Studios. It's for the most part, it's a sole guy in Japan who puts together these freeware FSX models for flight sim. So he did 737 MAX, he did 717, sorry, 727, he did the 737 family as well. So he did quite a few Boeing aircraft for flight sim, and eventually he dropped a 757, one of the later ones he did. And well, his own model actually is really, really good, because if you're on his Facebook group, he's had a couple of support groups on Facebook. For him, attention to detail is number one. His model matching, his model building is really, really good. Then, a while later, someone discovered, hang on a minute, if you paired the TDS externals with the JustFlight cockpit, you can have a really good freeware cockpit for 757 TDS, and all deliveries are so compatible. So they put together a little tutorial on how to do it, and yeah, it'll basically allow people to pick up any deliveries they want with a really good external model for the 757 JustFlight FREEMIUM cockpit. A bit naughty, but then again, as I said, this is so I don't think JustFlight even have it on the website anymore. There you go, the contrails that comes to play now. These are the precipitous effects stuff. Angle of attack though, I'm not a big fan of. So like airspeed, I'm going to drop the nose down a bit now because I don't like where this is going. Drop you down, and just max throttles. This airplane actually is potentially a bit heavy. Shouldn't have done that much. The weight should have been okay for the flights. And there we go. Yeah, this... It is what it is. It is what it is. Hopefully it speeds pick up a little bit, and take on from there. We set them back to that decimal 7, 8. Should have cruising speed today. And hopefully that's start picking up shortly. The rate climb starts to pick up a little bit now. We've leveled the modes off 30,000. In fact, I might drop it down to 30,000 full stop. And just had the aircraft getting a bit of speed there. Should have maintained, well, should have focused more on speed. Should have done that a bit better on my part. That's a poor job from the captain. Not the end of the world. That's all fine. This is Flight Sim for me back in the day. Actually, I tell a lie, I think I may have streamed this once upon a time. A flight from, it was like a domestic flight, somewhere in the UK to Heathrow. It might be Manchester, it might be Glasgow. But I might have actually streamed this once upon a time. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Alright, back up to 33 go. And yeah, we'll go for a relatively light 500 feet per minute climb, just let the aircraft pick itself up a bit more. There we go. Minor scare, nothing too excessive. If this is a fancy payware aeroplane, they're probably giving me some prior warning, like, hang on a minute, you're a bit too heavy. Check your weight, or check your speed. On this, it's, oh look, the plane's pitching 10 degrees up. Maybe something's not quite right. Auto throttle, we can reconnect, speed set, and hold max 7, 8. Yeah, so climbing now, and we are picking up speed. That's all good. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. In a second, he should jump forward a little bit. There we go. There's tower, which gives a view of the aircraft from the ground, so you can see. Yeah, contrail's in there. Yeah, you see the contrail behind it. You see kind of the cloud where it just kind of ends there. Zoom in a bit, and you get a view of the down-to-ground aircraft from down below. Honestly, FSX doesn't actually get enough credit for what it does. It really ain't that bad. This is it's just old. That's the thing. It is old, but this is the sim that kept us all going. So the first golden age of flight sim. That's when we had Flight Sim 2002, X-Plane 7. We had there was another one as well. I can't remember if it was EA or Sony or someone released Flight Sim as well. Flight Unlimited. We had Flight Unlimited. Can't remember the develops that one. But it was one of the big names out there. Combat Flight Sim, that was a big thing for Microsoft as well at the time. Yeah, we had a golden age of Flight Sim, that was kind of late 1990s, late 2000s. Then FS 2004 released, X-Plane 9 released, FSX released, and then 2006 FSX released, and then things just stagnated. There were no sim releases for years. Microsoft canned this whole genre. 18 that were developing it were just axed entirely. They got canned for budget cuts, and yeah, just for a long time, FSX was the last flight sim that was released. X-Plane 10 eventually came out, but X-Plane back then wasn't a particularly big platform, and therefore only a very small number of people actually ever really used it. X-Plane 11 was a really big one when it started growing quite fast, because when X-Plane 11 was first announced and released in the mid-2010s, it was like, cool, look at the night lighting in the sim, it's fantastic, the graphics are great. OpenStreetMap data to have real-world roads and buildings, unheard of. I mean, nowadays Microsoft Flight Sim with satellite imagery completely blows out the water, but I remember when X-Plane 11 was first announced and released, that was revolutionary. But no, for a good 10-15 years, FSX was king. P3D also came out. I think 2012, 2013 P3D version 1 came out. Some people moved across, others stuck with FSX because again, P3D back then was just a professional platform for fixed wing simulators and other training setups. If that's the altitude alarm, that's just saying that we are now approaching our set altitude. In this case of 30,000 feet. Speed, there goes. Speed looking far more healthy now. Yeah, so the FSX lasted for years. It was in 2006, and so actually, this platform is now 16 years old. 16 years ago it was released. I'm 23. This is almost as old as me. Well, it's about 7 years younger than me, but like the fact I'm still using it 16 years on, like, fair play to Asus. You've put together a platform that really was ageless. It no longer stands the test of time. It really is at the end of its life. This is just a fun thing to focus, because again, I've flown 717 real life. The only one I've got is from TFDi design for FSX and P3D. My P3D key, of course, is butchered for some reason, or the license expired, something like that, so I could contact Lockheed Martin, or I just go for the old and gold, so went for that. Yeah, apart from that, so this is nostalgia. I know why I left FSX. I wouldn't turn back to this kind of particularly full time because it just is an old platform that hasn't, well, the aging is just, it's old. Microsoft Flight Sim, of course, the big new platform that everyone loves and enjoys. But I've got fond memories of FSX. Like I say, this is the platform that really got me into flight simming when I first got serious, and also the platform I was using, and then started the channel as well. So I have got fond memories of FSX. Well, the flying's probably been far from perfect this evening. It's not been horrible. Oh, sure, I was going to be flying overhead Charlotte in a couple of minutes. Yeah, flew into Charlotte this morning with American Airlines. Bit of Takeoff down below, nothing too excessive. You can't go in front of an aeroplane. You go to the very front, like nose, but you can't go the other way around without shooting at the other side, so you have to go around the back of the aeroplane. There you go, honestly, it ain't that bad. November 545, Uniform Sierra. If I have you, see, contrails is kind of, contrails a bit on and off, so temperature, of course, is probably a little bit warmer at high altitude today. Definitely recognisably a Delta Airlines aeroplane. Again, go to now, flyby. So yeah, we've leveled off now, cruising at level 330, 32,000 feet. Yeah, the aeroplane, do all the hard work. We're also fairly back on course now, so you can go back to the map, you can see we're on the routing. We're going to fly by Charlotte, Tokyo Yankee India on its way ahead of us. And yeah, so we should follow the flight path now, rest of that, any problems. So just ignore this bit and ignore that bit. That's just me slowly getting back into the flow of things. There you go, time running about an hour and 9 minutes. 536 miles to go. That's pretty standard, I guess. So about half past, well, 23:37 Zulu estimated landing time, which in local time should be 7:37 New York time. Scheduled land time in real life is actually, am I? Hang on, bear with me. There's no local time clock in this area, I don't think. What's this? Okay, it gives me the local time for my mouse over it. It doesn't really show it. Okay, clock. So it's 6:27 PM local time right now. Flight schedule starts at 5:59, which is fine. So then for about half hour. So if it's only next hour to landing, we should land at yeah, about 7:30. Which was just about an hour ahead of schedule, to be fair. Yeah, the estimated flight time is 2 hours 29, but I think a lot of that's down to just the fact that Atlanta and JFK both got a bit of traffic the aircraft needs to navigate around. But we should get there in good timing. I mean, I had a choice. I could have left. I could have flown to Atlanta, stayed a few hours there, and then left in the late evening. But with 1 hour and 10 minute connection time at Atlanta, a Delta 757 departing to JFK, and well, I was never going to say no to that. The alternative was a Boeing 737-800 with Delta, which again I'm sure is a great experience. But again, if you give me a choice between a 737 and a 757, an aircraft I've flown so many times before, to an aircraft I've never flown ever before in the past, I'm always going to go for the second option. I mean, 717 was about... As Lexington was an extra bonus as well, because again, I was always going to go to Lexington when I went to the States. Again, a deal between me and my brother, where whoever goes to America first has to go to Lexington to try the hot brown at Ramsey's Diner. There's a whole joke behind it. I've explained it in a couple of previous videos already. But, yeah, in the end, I went to America first, so I was always planning to go to Lexington. American Airlines end with the 738 and Embraer 145 is pretty good, and then the 717, 757 return was just such a bonus on top of what I already got. I couldn't say no. Everything panned out so well for this trip. I actually can't believe it. That's good. I'll do that later. Cool. Yeah. So sorry, I just got a message from the Airbnb host just to sort out quick delivery needs. Because again, I'm ordering GoPro camera, and it's about £110 cheaper to order it in America than it would be in the US, than in the UK. So I've just messaged him like, "Hey, can I order a camera to your place and collect it?" And he's like, "As long as you don't, as long as like he doesn't want to be held responsible for it." Hang on. Yeah, I'll get back to him when I finish. So we've got that crew, so far so good. Let's go through the passengers, shall we? Let's use aboard our flight today. I'm sitting in seat 33F, so it's a bit counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So in my seat is Josephine Gray, 45 years running for business. Again, Boeing airplanes don't have row 13, they've skipped it because, again, that's a lucky number. Go through the cabin. Are there any people on board we may recognise? Let's have a quick look, see. Nobody straight away. Okay. No one stands out right away. No, no one sends out today. Oh well, let's see. You get some, you don't get some. Maybe someone in the live premiere chat would have noticed the name, but for me, the answer this evening is no, not particularly. Yeah. As for the sun, I'm expecting that to get. I don't know if it'll set entirely, because again, we're landing at around 8 PM local time, but certainly we'll start getting low on the horizon, wherever the sun is behind us, is it? There it is. Yeah, so we'll get a bit low on the horizon, but I don't think it'll be a pitch black landing tonight. That's not what I anticipate with this aeroplane or this flight. Hey Google, what time is sunset in New York on September 19? It's 6:58 PM. So something, okay. FSX time not quite realistic. The sun probably, well, should have set by now, apparently. Oh, sorry, it sets in 20 minutes. 34. Okay, no, so the sun set in 20 minutes, apparently. Thereabouts. As for flight progression at the moment. Charlotte on the left hand side, I'll have a look at that in a moment. In fact, I have an alternative today. There's Boston. Can't make it to New York for whatever reason. Boston Logan is our go-to. So, somewhere down below is Charlotte. What's using ORBX scenery? Well, better than using defaults. It's going to be perfect. I guess the big thing ORBX, so with FSX ground scenery, it uses a system called land class to determine what textures go on the ground. And basically, it's like a checkerboard. You have a grid of 1,000,000 by 1,000,000 squares or whatever, and then it'll use real world data to determine what's on each square. So like, this is a field, this is a field, this is a forest, this is a forest, this is a town, this is a forest, this is a town, city, city. So it picks what's going to be off each square and puts together ground tiles based on what should be there in real life. The textures themselves will be, I guess, inaccurate to what actually is there in real life, but it gets a general idea of what the world should look, or how the world should appear. Which again, back in the day, was actually a pretty good way of doing things. Certainly doesn't maybe get up to today's standards, but not a bad way of doing things. Yeah, so for the most part, we should be able to kind of recognise from how altitude kind of where we're flying over. But maybe not necessarily pinpoint exactly like this is this city, that is that city, so forth, so forth, so forth. Okay, we're up at cruise, everything's pretty stable. Alright, so I'm going to disappear for a short break. Come back about maybe 5-10 minutes, then everything continues its own flight. And then at some point soon also look at the approach configuration to JFK as well. But as I say, for the most part, the aircraft's been handling everything pretty okay, no complaints from me just yet. We're up at cruise, we're all stable, passengers are satisfied, fairly sure at least. Yeah, very satisfied, 100% this camera doing a service. Yeah, no complaints whatsoever. Very happy with that. So, yeah, I'm going to disappear for a little bit and catch up the airplane a little further on to the flights. A little bit closer on the top of the drop. That's all good as well. Bit in 2 seconds. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Right, so I'll carry on the flight. I'll catch up with you guys in a couple of minutes. See you in a bit. Right, let's see how we're doing. Though we're actually a little bit off course at the moment, for some reason. Sin being the sin, I guess. Right, there's left that we needed. Cool, that's fine. Yeah, so, still up a cruise, everything pretty good. Passenger satisfaction still actually really, really high for what it is. I mean, everyone's pretty good back there. Hang on. Okay, no. Thought I saw a name. It wasn't. Alright, so yeah, we just left the Tango Yankee India waypoints, heading towards Sierra Romeo Foxtrot. In terms of flight progress, we're now coming about maybe the midpoint of this flight, about halfway there. Sun, you can see, starting to set a little bit. Get that pink sky now across the background. Go to the left hand side window. You can see, yeah, it's starting to go quite, starting to hit the horizon. Still a bit more to go, but starting to make it to the horizon sun. Nearest seat to us at the moment is probably, well, you've got Raleigh kind of just somewhere behind us over there. Raleigh, North Carolina. As for the rest of the route, we're going to fly overhead Norfolk. Norfolk actually is when we then enter the coastal bit of this flight. So I'll show you what. So yeah, that's what we've done so far. Yes, that's what we've done so far. Fly over Norfolk, left hand turn, fly on the coast, which kind of the border of the Pacific coast, sorry, the Atlantic coast and America at this point. Top descents between Sierra Escalima and Rados. That is matching what Simbrief is telling me for a top drop again, so bring that up on the flight plan on the right. So Sea Isle and boats on top drop, which is pretty good. Yeah, so no point with that, we'll base our top drop on this. As for the routing, we'll check what the runway is at the moment in JFK, so we go to flight route 24. Right, so we're going to approach into runway 31 right, that's the active. About 5 minutes ago, it was tell you what, we'll have a bit of fun. We're going to approach onto runway 22 left because the winds are changing quite a bit at the moment. But 22, yeah, we'll go for 22 left. Want to actually break away from the realistic winds, realistic runway, and go for more of an approach. Because that allows us to index it over the line a bit, and then gives slightly more extended approach. Yeah, we'll do that. Right, so if I grab the chart from runway 22 left. Right, okay, we'll probably analyze frequency first, which I believe are the knobs down here. So yeah, that's nav 1, that's nav 2. Yes, that's fine. So 110.9. 110.9. Across, that one's fixed. Runway course of 224. Do. Right, what else can we do? So that's really good. 224, 10.9, that's fine. So that's automatic, so as soon as you get close to the localizer at JFK, that will then establish itself, get itself connected, and give us the guidance on the ND there. The aircraft, well, supposedly has also land, that's all in up, but we have got active localizer and approach mode, which does work in this airplane quite nicely, so be sure to make use of that as well once you get a bit closer to the airport. That's still buggered, not going to use that. Everything else though is pretty okay. Again, United States in the world, this aeroplane. The FREEMIUM was back in the day one of the best aircraft in the sim, with its semi-functional FMS and basic cockpit systems, but about 2 years later, 2-3 years later, when PMDG drops their 737, which will be their first add-on for FSX, that's when things completely change, and yeah, flight sim was almost revolutionised by that change. So it's come a long way, FSX. I mean, even to where it started in 2006 to where it kind of died off in 2015, 2016, 2017, that kind of era. Yeah, it did go a long way. And while flight dynamics certainly probably were to be desired, I've got... Again, I left this flight sim because of really bad frame rates and crashing stability issues, which, trust me, even recording this video, I've had a couple of times already. Spot the jump cuts. Sim's crashed twice in this recording so far. Apart from that, though, everything else moved pretty smoothly. Well, kind of. To an extent. A very, very short extent. Right, let me just catch up where everything is at the moment. So this is... That's fine, I'm keeping that. This one we are getting rid of, I think. Yep. Bear with me. Say... Next to sim crashing is that you now have no idea where anything is. That's I need to keep. No, I'm lost now. There you go. That I need to keep. That I need to keep. That's that. That's that. Yeah. Okay. It's actually crashed 3 times. I'll go back to recordings now. Okay. You can see the. Well, lighting panel has come online. I think it's supposed to activate the dome light as well. In 2 seconds. So that controls the panel lighting. I'll show everything off. Overhead panel. That controls the exact same thing. And if I'm correct, so the dome light in this airplane is yeah, doesn't actually do anything. As well, that does have an effect, but just makes it really awkward. So yeah, okay, we'll have to leave that off for now, but I want to turn on the panel and everything else lighting before I do number 6. That way I have more visibility on the approach side of things. So that cruise, aircraft's performing admirably. I could have a look at the approach information. Approach mode, source pilot approach. There we go. So that gives you kind of the speeds where the flats will be available at different stages. So flats 1 down to 240, flats 5 to 220, 15 to 10, so forth and so forth. The ref 131. Really? Only 126? It's a bit low. It's slow for a 7.5, but that's what it's telling me. That's what it's telling me. Okay, 131 approach speed. That's fine. I'll let that down. Apart from that, everything else is looking okay. Just going to mess up the flight plan again. Right, that's what we're approaching. Now approaching off. So activate that. Direct off. Yeah, semi-functional FMS. Not the greatest. Apart from that, though, as I said, sun's now slowly setting behind us. It's getting a little bit dimmer as light progresses. Nice, the cabin light also came online as well. That is linked to the cabin. It's really annoying. This panel keeps resetting as well. That I don't like. We go back. Size U. Yeah, so I have got access. To where are you? I guess cabin lighting also can control from the airplane. That's pretty good. I'll leave that on auto. The cabin crew control that for me. Yeah, so pretty good. So basically, with that set to auto, the aircraft will automatically switch off the cabin lights for descent and landing, and also during takeoff and night as well. That's quite a good feature. Again, TDS as a freeware developer, absolutely legendary. If you played FSX or P3D and you had no money to spend on add-ons, these guys were essentially your go-to. TDS, Takeoff Development Studios, best freeware developer on this platform you could possibly ever go for. Then again, the direct design, all the fancy Polish airports and American airports and Moscow they do, even that had a free version as well to go alongside it. Slightly low resolution textures, no fancy interiors and no ground satellite imagery, but again, they had a freeware version to all their paywares. Then again, UK2000 as well, also did that. The freeware scene FSX, probably not to the same extent as MSFS and X-Plane, but it had a bit going for it. And again, the freemium, the 757 freemium. These were the days. These really were the days. Anyways, so we're up at cruise. things aren't looking too bad for us at the moment. So yeah, I'll catch up with you guys a bit closer to the well, I'll give you a minute and I'll come back. See you in a bit. And then again. Right, how are we doing? I'm lighting back on again because it's getting a bit dark outside now. So we're about 5 minutes from our top of drop. So yeah, we'll see the cabin, and then we'll plan our descent into New York JFK. Hello ladies and gentlemen, updates from the flight deck. We are approximately 5 minutes from South descent into JFK. I'll be landing approximately 30 minutes or so. I've got the weather for you right now. Temperature at JFK reporting to be around 76 degrees Fahrenheit. A few clouds in the area, but for the most part should be quite clear skies on arrival. If you use facilities, please do so now, as we'll shortly prepare the cabin for approach and landing. Once again, landing in approximately 30 minutes, with top of descent in about 5 or so. Thank you very much. Alright, so yeah, expect the aircraft going to manually. So yeah, we'll leave it on the arrival information now, since we're going to pretty much vector our way into the airport. The coordinates charts need to be down to 1,500 for the localized intercept. Not just yet aeroplane, not just yet. So down to 1,500. Then following Volanta, there'll be a rate of 1,500 feet per minute. So that's, sorry, 1,800. So that's, yeah, we'll start doing that now. That's 1,800. We've already programmed the approach GIS and everything, so pretty much a golden route straight into the airport. Now flying over Ocean Pines. Next city flying over will be Atlantic City. Now, this is the fun bit. Like I say, the aircraft has no VNAV guidance. We're pretty much going in, well, essentially going in blind with this, so hopefully the aircraft will be able to manage without too many problems. Should have sense, and let's see where we go from there. For the passengers, left hand side proving more interesting. Sun has now set, which is actually if we go to the landing lights. Let's talk about the 3D lighting we did earlier. Yeah, from this point of time, that will look, yeah, that's just really good. That this is a freeware mod. There is a payware 3D lighting add-on. This is a freeware kind of. There was a tutorial again. Back in the day, there was a tutorial which I'd saved on my OneDrive just in case I ever needed it again. This occasion. Essentially, there was a freeware boat mod which had some fantastic 3D fog lighting, and yeah, it just sinks in very, very nicely. So that's going to do us nicely. Apart from that, we shall continue with our descent. Let's go for another flyby view, because you know, flyby view is always a lot of fun. Pretty much down to a whisper now because it's so quiet. The engine's on idle. It's yeah, it's just gone down to a whisper. Yeah, I hate the camera locking in this. So yeah, start descent. Like I say, landing now approximately 30 minutes or so. We'll need to vector ourselves around to runway 22 left. That in itself shouldn't be too much of a problem for us. So continue descent. So far, so good. Bear with me 2 seconds while I figure out what's going on there. Slightly annoying, but probably work around that. Yeah, so as I say, terms of routing moments, we're now approaching the Psy waypoint from Psy into Boton, Hogs, Pansy, Cars, and Carmen. From Carmen, we'll switch over to manual heading mode, switch over from GPS to navigation. That allows the localizer to establish and connect itself to the runway at New York, JFK. That's set for runway 2 left. Hopefully this should work. I mean, certainly we've got the approach mode available to us. That's the button over there, localizer approach mode. The also land status switch is in up, but as long as we get ourselves onto the glide site, we should be able to stand without too many problems. We flat runway at JFK, so no train to catch up with us on the landing, which probably increases our potential for go around. But as long as our speeds and approaches are all correct, and I doubt we're going to have too many problems with the way in at this point. Passing through 25,000 level 250. Tell me to JFK right now is 2994, so yeah, it's also done now while we're here. Not that one. And there we go, 2994 set. Hold Mac decimal 7.5 for a bit longer. Can reduce that down to Mac decimal 7.0 in a bit. 22,000 so far, so good. Again, this is a case of, like I say, balancing out between the aircraft, kind of what the aircraft expects us to be and where it expects us to be, and my own calculations as well, but shouldn't be too far off. Again, as long as SimBrief and Volanta kind of agree what the job was, that's all I need to particularly worry about at this point in time. Outside, the ground lighting slowly starting to appear now. Closer to the ground, of course, we'll see the individual lights dotted around as well for the alternative effects. You see, if I zoom in a little close enough, you can actually kind of really see sort of ground lights dots as appear. So yeah, 3D lighting this in. That's provided by ORBX's FTX Global. Not to the same extent as MSFS and explain where it's again 100% accurate road layouts and everything looks grand from wherever you are. That certainly gives us a pretty good idea of what New York should look like for the most part on the way in. Around 280 knots, which is fine. And yeah, aircraft's doing everything for us. No complaints, no problems there. And our fuel load on board today. I don't know if the aircraft even tells us how much fuel's on board left. There's no fuel gauge anywhere, which I can read. There you go. Nope, those are engine gauges. No, okay, there's no fuel gauge, so I'm just going to have to wing it, but as long as the engine's still burning... There you go, no, it's APU exhaust, maybe it should be turned off. Oh, that's still turned on. Sure, I turned that off on the ground. Apart from that though, everything else looks pretty steady. Okay, actually I can now put that below. That's going to be Atlantic City International. It's dark outside now, so the power lights off now, pretty much make everything goes dark, so I'm going to leave it on for the rest of the flight. It's not a problem for me. Change content dome light off, new bit panel, but you don't get everything in FSX, certainly not for the freemium. Just be happy you got to work an airplane in the first place. That's all you can really say. It's going to reduce our okay, we're going to reduce our rate of descent down to 1,500, 1,400. Again, always use spoilers and flaps gear, everything to reduce our rate of descent closer to our destination. Still got a little while to go now. Very shortly going to pass over Boton. I mean, for me personally, I thought this was probably a slightly early top of drop, but not particularly too bad according to the flight plan. And the plan is land at New York, spend the evening in the city, and then tomorrow back to well, tomorrow off to Washington DC for the final day in the US. So we're going to spend tomorrow we're going to fly to Washington DC, one more night, and then it's back to Frankfurt on board the Lufthansa 747. That'd be an overnight flight. Yeah, so another message from the host who's going to take delivery, which is absolutely fantastic of him. Thank you very, very much, dude, if you ever see this video. Yeah, no, we're all grand at the moment. 15,000 there. It's an early descent, this. It's a very early descent. Let's drop down to about 500 feet per minute. As a tempo on this airplane is really, really good. Far better than I was expecting. Far better than I was expecting. So now approaching Hogs. Completely better horizon now. Yeah, this is my view at the moment. Probably not the best on the right hand side. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. Need to set the Pacific a bit longer. Again, flying back over that in 2 days. Let's go for another flyby view. The engines are idle. What's a silent whisper at that point? Come on, text. There we go. The thing you've got to keep an eye out for in MSFS is the VAS. When you hit 2 gigabytes, that's essentially telling you you're running out of SIM memory. Yeah, good old days of FSX where VAS you had to monitor, frame rate stable, timing and everything's pretty stable, but VAS is not your friend in this, I'm afraid. Go away. Yeah, I'm sure you've been staring at my wake up time throughout this entire flight today. And look, Joe's gonna wake up in 7 hours. In reality, it's way off. Way off. We're trying to do at least one more video tonight, if all goes to plan. Only about an hour long flight time, not particularly long, but it then means that I've got the rest of the time to do my. So in terms of videos already recorded, I've done one leg of the Frankfurt to JFK. I've done Newark to Boston. I've done done LaGuardia to Charlotte. I'm now doing Atlanta to JFK. Next I'm trying to record Lexington to Atlanta. That's the next big one to record. Then I've also done the inbound, outbound. I've done the inbound Frankfurt, London Heathrow to Frankfurt. So what that leaves me to do is the return leg from Washington Dulles to Frankfurt 747. That I'm going to do tomorrow because I've got a day off work, and then it leaves me with 3 videos all to explain the Embraer 145 and Embraer 190s. Those 3 flights are relatively short. Those ones I can record like that, hopefully. Just got to make sure I've got time to do it. So again, the Boston day trip, that flight's about 40 minutes, so that was a very quick one to record. Frankfurt's London City Airport, that's a little longer, an hour and 10. And then Charlotte to Lexington is also about an hour and 5 minutes. So again, 3 flights, all about an hour in length each. those will be easy to record. The thing I've got to do with those is just remind myself how to fly the Embraer 145 and 190. But the sooner I get those done, the better it will start to be for me and hopefully everyone else involved. Passing now through 14,000, flight level 140, actually, no, flight level, sorry. Plus 18,000, so it's all local pressure now, out in 2994. We've now passed Pays, inbound cars. So way too early today. You don't really want to be going below 10,000 to hit maybe long branch. Cut the airport maybe like 5,000. Hempstead at that point will then start the real full descent into JFK beyond that. But we're not terrible, we're low, but again, nothing we can't really adjust to keep the aircraft at steady rate. If I need to level up to 12,000, I can level up to 12,000, I can just stagger my descent in. As long as you're above 10,000, we don't need to reduce below 250 knots just yet. We're going into crow flies, about 10 minutes to landing right now. Capacity expectation should be landing in approximately 5 apparently, so okay. We're behind passenger expectation for arrival. There is a slight delay, but we're not going to sweat it. Back in 30 seconds. Right, this is now approaching the common waypoint. Let's get ourselves ready to vector. In fact, we're right about now. So we're going to vector to heading of 040. In fact, go a bit further. 035. Fly slightly to the east of JFK, and then curve around the north, and then into land. So yeah, we'll lose a bit of satisfaction for the slightly late arrival, but it won't cause too many problems for us, I don't think. So we'll try and level off maybe 12,000 for a little bit. Switch over to the navigation modes. Don't need that. I don't have any more. So far so good. So yeah, so basically I've now got Volanta on my right hand side, got the charts open, and we're doing this by hand in a fun way. Which is also again all positioned kind of easy for access. In fact, our current heading and routing looks pretty good. So essentially, yeah, that's us now. Fly slightly to the east of the airport, pretty much parallel to the runways themselves. Make a left-hand turn, curve in, and then bring it into land. Now approaching 12,000. Yeah, get ready to level that aircraft off in a couple of moments. Get a bit closer to the airport, and then continue to descend a bit further. Obviously reduction also included. There you go. Done its job. 27 miles DME. Perfect. Thank you, 757. That actually was better than I expected. No hard work. It's like, yeah, that's it. Done. Airplane knows where it is. Let's carry on. It's now kind of guided me to the runway. Don't need that though until we get the approach and localizer modes active in a bit. 12,100, 30 seconds, and we level off. So we'll keep the heading at 035 for about 30 miles. And then make the left hand turn, bring us into land. Top of the glide slope is at JFK. Yeah, not too far, it's 6.5 miles DME from the runway top of the glide slope. So a little room to manoeuvre as well if we need it. Right, okay, all the way to 12,000 there, not paying attention. 11,900 will do. There we go, glide slope's captured. We're not going to auto land this, the weather conditions are fine, and I don't necessarily trust the airplane well enough to give us an auto land. And the VES is running a bit heavy on the VES because the texture is now taking a little longer to load than externals. To be fair, with the cloud at the moment, even the left hand side view doesn't really show so much of the land terrain. There's down the heads. Kind of getting close, Long Beach is in front of us. Right, let's continue down, shall we? So, increase the rate to about 1,000 feet per minute. 10 minutes will be level with glide slope. Even cocktail I suppose next. Oops. Did not want to do that. Bear with me now, my entire monitor's messed up. I actually set explain FSX to full screen mode. That was not what I wanted to do. Now my desktop's a mess. Discord is Discord. That can go. That's fine. Try to in the background a little bit longer. OBS needs to resize greatly. Right, that's fine, and that is fine. Cool. And there we go. Land now visible to us. Cabin crew, 10 minutes landing, 10 minutes. Approaching 1,000 feet. Land lights now come on, as do the logo lights. Now, you get a real view of the 3D effects of those landing lights. Gorgeous, eh? There's JFK Airport. Used to be down to 250 knots. 249 will do. Again, that's one pet peeve of this airplane. It does it in Mac, not indicated, as most normal airplanes would do. Okay, what about that?
The flight crew has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. Please return to your seat to fasten your seatbelt.
Oh, airport's the site. A runway also being site with that as well. Perfect. So condition rate of descent, 1,000 knots is fine, passing 9,000, aircraft spoke, well, now approaching 200 knots is fine, minor adjustments based on the outdoor winds. Can do flaps straight away from 240 knots, 131, and approach speed today. Yeah, who am I kidding? This is FSX still. I try my best to make it look pretty, but the ground scenery certainly needs to be designed in this platform, always has been. Right, yeah, we'll hold it at that for now. So I need to get myself to about 20 miles DME on the, maybe more 25 DME on the indicator there. Start left hand turn. Then bring us into land. Runway 22 lefts. It's configured. Cabin is now being secured. And in the next couple of minutes, passing 7,500. Again, we need to have 2,500, 1,500 at 6 miles. Plenty of room. Plenty of time to move up. Start recording virtual replay now. Let's save it to load. Okay, increase up the. I've not used this on FSX before, so I need to make sure everything correct, set up correctly. So I need to GC for half, get rid of that. Save and close, and then press record. There we go. Right. So if I save it in virtual replay, and this is going to be 757 at JFK. Cool, that's now recording. Passing 6,300s. 14 miles DME, 10 miles to go, and we take our left hand turn. Passing 6,000. that. Do it now. Right, left hand turn. Heading 320. Charts right now, that is fine. What just saying to right, back to it. So we'll continue the left hand turn now. Right causes 224, so we get ourselves an inset at perhaps 270. See how that looks on the flight path. Right, glide slope down, which is fine. So we're down to 16 minutes. Bottom 4000. Hopefully soon, the localizer should come into play. So I'm just referring my position on Volanta with what will eventually be the localizer runway heading. So a little bit of probably one more left hand turn, gets us to 250, and that gives me a nice smooth connection with the localizer. And then just bring ourselves into land soon after that. So it's pretty good, pretty much in the altitude already. Slide to the left, again, that would be a nice simple adjustment when we get there. Left turn 250. There you go, localizer active. So now moving, approach mode armed. Localizer active, glide active, cool. To the approach speed, or at least close enough, on 3, 4 will do. That's 1. That's 5. FSX physics. Always never cease to amaze. Right, that's fine. So, little to the left of the glide slope, little to the right of the glide slope, but localizer, sorry. Little left to the localizer, but the aircraft's now adjusting for that. And we'll get ourselves sent to the runway very shortly. Runway's in sight. 10 miles DME. Perfect. Go on aeroplane. So only small adjustments. Self on that. Now kind of being all wavy passing towards the runway. Went too far off it. The aircraft should correct it without any problems. Right, correction 8 miles DME. Little blow of glide slope, but the aircraft will correct that for us shortly. The aircraft's now getting self-centered on the runway. 7 miles. Gear down. That's 25. Cabin crew, seats for landing please. Speed aeroplane, so it's to 184. Should not be going that slowly. Should not be going that slowly. Right, auto throttle off. Let's take over manual speed. Autopilot deactivates.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Taking it by hand. I'm not quite sure what the airplane was doing there. The throttle just did not want to hold 136. So a little bit of glide slope now. We can adjust for it without too many problems. Right, keep throttle active. Yeah, I can start to see why I put this in behind me. But again, this was FSX back in the day. Before we had the likes of PMDG, this was the best aircraft you had on the platform. Oh boy, those were the days. Those were the days. Okay, 301 right. Get ourselves a little shallower on the descent path.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Glide path now. White choice of warnings. There we go. That's a set. Knots. 6 knots, reverses idle. And back it runway to the right. What was that? Minus 296, I'll take that. Cool, that was a bit of effort. More than I was expecting, I must admit, but we got without too many problems in the end. But again,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
that was FSX back in the day.
time is 7:54 p.m. and it's currently about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. You can now use your mobile device.
Alright, vacate run to the right.
Remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned
It's
off.
down.
Remember to use
Flaps
caution
up.
when opening the overhead bins as items may have shifted during the flight. We thank you for flying with us.
Make sure the ground chart's available for this airport. That's fine. So, getting here, make a right, cross the runway, and then straight stand. That's nice and easy for us today. Cool. Don't like to show the sets. APU, we can start. And that's for the nosewheel gear. Much appreciated. Again, something Boeing does, Airbus do not, because Airbus, the landing lights are fixed to the gear struts. Boeing airplanes, the nose wheel taxi lights is fixed to the actual wheel set itself. This airplane, and lights will turn the aeroplane. So taxi's pretty much straight in now. Whereabouts are we? In south we should be okay to make a right hand turn at next taxiway. One intersection up and then cross over. We could cross runway, yeah, we'll cross runway now and then we'll make the right hand turn. There you go. Welcome to JFK. Like I said, the physics in the sim very different to that of modern platforms. Just couldn't quite get well. I got it for the airplane in the end, but it's a lot of work just to keep the aircraft steady. Again, it's like running on rails. It really is. The world has no input. You're flying your airplane in. You just have to adjust throttle and stick to get your aircraft in steady. It's a bit of work, but you do eventually get it down on the ground. Maybe a little bit heavier to touchdown, but we'll have a look at it from the passenger perspective and see what they saw from landing. Hopefully the audio is pretty stable as well. I know that back in the day, any replay on this platform would really mess up your audio. Right, hands turn. Correct, that should be the wrong way there, which it is. Yeah, so right hand turn, we'll go back ourselves just one block that way. Go on aeroplane. And a ground friction bug again. Ground friction bug. Biggest pain ever. Come on aeroplane. There's a taxiway, that's what you need. Left. Increase the a tad. And then stand just on the left hand side. Perfect. And hopefully these jet bridges here have a little bit more luck. If not, Shift 5 and just use the ground service panel from the upper right there. So that's reset. Get that down there. Right, that will do. Kill tax lights up behind the ground crews. And just gently bring our plane now to our tidal throttles. Hold the brakes. Parking brake set. AP generator on. APU is active. Engines off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to JFK. Local time right now it's approximately 1 minute past 8. Temperature outside at 76 Fahrenheit. Thank you for flying Delta Airlines. We hope you enjoyed the flights on board today, and we hope to see you again in the very near future. Cabin crew, this one does a cross check, please. Thank you very much today. Bye bye. Cabin, that comes off, that comes off. That can stay on. Tri-jet bridge. That stays inactive. So ground service panel it is. Right, 5 and go through there. So ground services, stairs, stairs, open doors, open doors. See what's going to come off with PACX. Same for overhead panel. Not you, you. fine. GSS2, loader, open door, and then cargo, sets. And hopefully that'll now allow ground services to slowly spark our aeroplane. It is what it is. Again, FSX, we've come a long way in flight simming. FSX certainly does not live up to today's standards, but it's been a nice trip down memory lane. This last two videos certainly have been a bit more of a fun throwback to I guess what I used to do back in the day. But I can totally see why this aircraft didn't stand the test of time. I can definitely see why we've all moved on from FSX to the to more greater platforms explained in Microsoft Flight Sim. Yeah, so passing on to spot the aeroplane, have done via PACX. Hopefully they're all deboarded now. 15 minutes on schedule, 75% satisfaction at the end of the flight reports. Right, so Delta 526, 752 from Atlanta to JFK. 2 hours flight time, planned departure, that's the time I'm recording it now. 28 passengers, 75% satisfaction, landing at 429. $429. Give me a 296. Again, flat runway, it really is open up to okay, so it could have been worse. And that's what would have been nice. Apart from that, terror of the airline. We should have short extra run, that's fine. Okay, so passengers don't seem too bad about it. Don't know why the landing rate is so different. Again, flat runways very much open up to interpretation. Yeah, so I guess that's what they have to do now. Is we'll stop recording the flights. Volanta's now done. PACX is now done. Let's get rid of the ground services. So close, get rid of you, 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 get rid of you. That's fine. That is fine. Cool. Right. Hopefully replay isn't too much of a hassle. Let's load. 757 into JFK. It's doing it. Right, so aircraft right side window. There we go. Not bad. So let's see if you approach from the right hand side, looking out towards the out towards Manhattan, and see a few of the buildings in the background, the landmarks, some skyscrapers behind the wing. Short fine length. That didn't look too bad at all. I disagree with what the runways gave me. That did not look too bad at all. I'll take that. I will take that. Cut. Navigate to the right. Now hopefully we can navigate around the different camera views.
10.
We've got a landing gear view. We're a little bit above the glide slope, but it didn't take much adjusting to get the aircraft back down again. Okay, maybe a little bit heavy side. I don't think it was too bad that. Not to say that someone's trying to tell me minus 429. No way, PACX. No way. Way above what you're trying to tell me. Now, hopefully, you get your tower view or flyby view. Because the runway side view you always get on these kind of videos. Let's have a look. Tower view, perhaps. That's JFK Tower. Yeah, that. I can't zoom her out. Really? KJFK. LaGuardia. It's pretty good view from LaGuardia actually. And now goes to JFK. JFK, zoom in. Cool, there we go. Maybe not quite a landing side view, but a tower view. So that's not going to do too bad for us. Short fine length. Some small adjustment required, but without too much difficulty, stuck it down for a firm but fair landing. I'll give it that. So yeah, I guess that's our very final look at FSX for ever, basically. Just like 757 Freemium, I say, back in the day, this was the best aircraft in the sim. It really, really was. Maybe it doesn't quite live up to today's standards, but for what it's worth, it did give me a good couple of years of joy. And then eventually, when I got a bit more money, got a job and my own income, started moving on towards the fancier stuff, the PMDG airplanes, and a better flight experience from there. But like I say, this is just a throwback to what simming was like for me back in the day, back when I started out. Probably you guys watched the stream, like back when I was your age. This is what sim was for me. This is what I was doing every other day. But it's been fun. Do I have any kind of like? Would I go back to FSX tomorrow? No, I really wouldn't. It really, really wouldn't. But apart from that, it is what it is. I've enjoyed this. It's been an interesting outlook at the old platform. So yeah, I guess we're just the end of that. So again, look at the flight plan ahead. Tomorrow, flying to Washington Reagan from Newark. Spent 24 hours in Washington, and then flying from Jules back over to Frankfurt 747. So those are going to be hopefully scheduled for live streams as well if I get them all recorded. CRJ is already done, just need a 747 return tomorrow. But yes, apart from that, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, do subscribe if you're already. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon. It's all types of action. Take care guys, have a good one, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.